Come on and welcome back to Get Published TV. This is the only show on the internet to help you to write, publish and market your own best-selling book. Now, yesterday we were talking about book titles and we spoke about why book titles are so important, and I talked about a bit of a formula that I was going to reveal to you. I did reveal it to you. We're talking about 7 different styles of book titles that you can actually write. And what we're going to do now is put a microscope over each one, and I'm going to explain what each one is and maybe go through 2 or 3 examples, and we may get through all 7, we may only get through half, and then we'll go to the ones that we miss in tomorrow's episode. And then maybe after that we're actually going to go through a whole stack of books here, and then I'm going to get you to get involved here and you to tell me what style or format each of the the books is in the way of titles are concerned. All right, so without any further ado, let's get stuck into it. Let's talk about style number 1, which is short titles. So I want you to actually, as we're doing this whole process, is to think about your book and your book idea, or if you've already published, think about your next book idea and think about how this relates to you. But the first one is coming up with a short title. Now, short titles are just normally 1, 2, maybe maximum 3 words. So some classics in the fiction area would be the shortest one I know was one by Stephen King called It, which was published back in the I think the early 90s. I could be wrong, but remember that book and the movie that followed growing up. So there's a book called It. In the non-fiction area, there's a friend of mine who's wrote a book called Flip. His name is Peter Sheen, and there's another book called Fish. There are another book which is very popular called The Secret. Here's another book that I have in my hands here called Be Do Live. That one's 3 words. So typically it's it's 1, 2 or 3 words. It's very, very short. Another one that just comes to mind is one by Robert Cialdini, which is a book called Influence. That's all the book is called, Influence. Now that's the title. Now every time you go with a title, and this is of course I'm talking now to the non-fiction writers, you have to back that up with normally a longer but a very powerful and very descriptive subtitle that tells exactly what your book is about. So you normally have to back that up. So you can't just have your title called Influence. It's got to actually have a subtitle that says, well, what is it actually what's this book going to do for me? Who is it actually targeting? So I might try to go through a couple of examples to explain what I mean. Here's one called Piano on the Beach. And you don't understand, well, what is Piano on the Beach? It's a fairly short title. It's got 4 words, but it says here pictures, principles and perspectives for success in leadership and life. So it's a book that has ideas for success and leadership. So you get a feel for what the book is about through the subtitle. Let me go through another one. This one's again a short title. This one's called Rules for Renegades. Now, you kind of get a bit of a sense for what that kind of is about, bit of an oxymoron there, rules, renegades, but the subtitle is really what draws people in. The subtitle here is how to make more money, rock your career, and reveal your individuality. So you get an idea there, okay, making more money, so you're thinking, okay, it's for people that are either in their own business or people that are wanting to make more money in their job, rock their career, there you go, I've just said it, and people that want to reveal their individuality, so being true to yourself. So that then says what the book is about. So short titles, just going through, there's lots of different examples that I will give you on future episodes, and again we'll go through this stack that I've got here and get you involved in it. But think about it, what is the one word, start with maybe one word, what's the one word that best describes what my book is about? If you can't do one word, then go to 2 words. There's a book that I saw just in the office next door, I think it was by Janet Switzer, and I think it was called Instant Income? I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was from memory. Instant Income was the title there. So again, the idea for number one is a short title. Start with one word, then maybe go to 2 words, 3 words. What is the word, 1 or 2 words that best describe what your book is about? Or it may not be describing what your book is about. It could just be a saying or something that you talk about in your book. Like an example, which we're going to talk about later on, is Wombat Selling. That's a short title, and again, you've got to back it up with a really powerful and descriptive subtitle. So that's number one. How does that relate to your book? Think through that. Can you come up with a short title? Does that work? Remember, spend about maybe 5-10 minutes. Do not look either side. Do not kind of let yourself get sidetracked by going through all those other styles that I talked about until you've really extracted everything you can out of that that first one or that one that you're actually currently on. Don't let your mind wander, because you can go to those other ones later on, because what you never know, it could be not the first one you come up with, not the second or the third, but the 10th or the 12th. It's the amazing title, the $1 million title. So it might not always be at the top, so don't kind of cop out too soon. Keep going until you're absolutely empty and you can't do any more. All right, let's go into the next one. The next one is a long title. So number 2 in the way of styles is a long title. Now, a long title will say everything of what the book is about. This one here is an example of a longer title, which is How to Get Rich Working 2 days per week. So How to Get Rich Working 2 days a week. That's the title of this book. It pretty much says what the book is about in the title. So therefore, it probably doesn't need, and this one doesn't actually have a subtitle, because it pretty much says everything. It's how to make money and how to work less. So that is an example of a long title. Another one that comes to mind is How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's another long title. Very famous book, sold millions of copies by Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Another one is Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. That's another long title. Another one that I remember seeing, this may not be exact, but it was something along the lines of How to Build a Business from Scratch in 60 days and keep it for life, or something like that. It was like, so, how to build a business from scratch in 60 days and how to keep it for life. That was the entire title. Quite long, but it says everything about what the book is about in that particular title. Another one that springs to mind is a guy who's a very successful real estate investor, and it's called 0 to 130 Properties in 3.5 years. So this person went out there, started with nothing, and in a space of 3.5 years, acquired 130 properties. So that's the title of the book, 0 to 130 Properties in 3.5 years. So again, some of you may be saying, I really like the sound of those titles. Some of you may be saying, I don't like them at all. You may be hearing we've got some rain happening in the out the window just there. Anyway, get through that distraction and keep going. So some of you may be liking them, others of you may not be liking them. It's a personal choice, but again, go through this process of going through every single one before you move on to the next, because you never know where your $1 million title is going to come from. I've covered number 1 and number 2 in today's episode. I'm going to go through the rest of the different styles and get in more detail, and then we're going to go through some examples. So you can probably tell I'm quite excited about this, because it is one of the most important decisions that you're ever going to make as an author. This is Dale Beaumont from Get Published TV. If you've got some ideas and thoughts, leave them in the comment section below on the getpublishedtv.com website. Make sure you come back to watch the next video, because we're going to continue the conversation. Thanks so much. See you next time. Woo! All right.